How do you position yourself for success so that you stand out in the crowd? Inspiration is when you light a fire inside others. Your differentiation is sustainable, it's more effective, and it's much more exciting and profitable for you as well. So here we are back again. My name is Michèle Soregaroli, and I want to ask you a quick question. Which I want to suggest to you that differentiation, your value proposition, your competitive advantage, and your ability to perform require a deep understanding of whether you are motivated or whether you are inspired. As I mentioned, my name is Michèle Soregaroli. I'm an expert in differentiation, value propositions, and competitive advantage. I've been working with professionals in professional services for over 20 years. I've been involved in professional services for over 35 years. And I have a great deal of experience in highly regulated, highly competitive environments where you're selling a service as opposed to a product. How do you position yourself for success so that you stand out in the crowd? Part of that today, when we talk about motivation and inspiration, the biggest thing that is very important to understand is what's going on internally for you and how that impacts your ability to actually excel and master your craft. The critical difference between motivation and inspiration is this: motivation is when you light a fire under someone, or something is lighting a fire under you. Inspiration is when you light a fire inside of someone, or you have a fire lit inside of you. This is a nuance that has been communicated through Lance Secretan in his book, The Bellwether Effect. Excellent nuance to be thinking about, because it's critically important that you understand the difference. If you're going to differentiate your business and bring forward a really positive, compelling energy around your unique value proposition, around your strengths and your skills that differentiate you from your competitors. So here's what I want to offer. When we're talking about motivation, motivation is 100% fear-based. Because you've got a fire lit under you, something is lighting a fire in you, or you are lighting a fire in others, there's an external force that is pushing behavior, an external force that is generating certain activities in you that you may or may not want to do. Something that is you're wanting to avoid, something, some negative result, or something that you're moving away from. This is never the best way to access your best self. When you are moving away from something, when you are avoiding something, you're operating from a place of scarcity, and you're operating from a place of just do what it takes to get it done, get it out of the way, avoid that problem. So motivation has a place. Now, when motivation is really valuable to us as humans, it's when there's some situation that's dangerous and we need to have something that stimulates us to get into action to avoid the danger and get running, if you will. So, for example, if you come face to face with a bear, you're pretty motivated to get the heck out of there. So that's what motivation looks like in the business world as well. We're thinking about negative impacts. We're thinking about negative consequences. We're trying to avoid something bad happening, whether that be as much as losing money, losing opportunity, or potentially even losing our reputation, losing face, right? Coming from a place of avoiding shame, avoiding embarrassment, avoiding loss of reputation, what have you. Motivation is always coming from that place of fear and avoidance. When you want to differentiate, you cannot effectively differentiate when you're coming from a place of fear. So if you are motivated to differentiate because you are afraid that if you don't stand out in the crowd, if you don't do this, that you are going to have some negative consequence as a result, then you're not going to be as effective. So what happens when you differentiate well and instead you lean into inspiration? Inspiration is when you have a fire lit inside of you. Inspiration is when you light a fire inside of others, rather, right? You light a fire inside others, so it becomes intrinsic. It's not an external force that's pushing you. It's an inside pull that's pulling you towards something better. So this is very much about future possibility, potential, moving towards something that's exciting, compelling, interesting, attractive, magnetic, but there's a pull. Now, what does that do for your energy? Completely changes everything. Think about when you've been excited to do something. your whole energy and outlook and mindset is completely different. You're a different person because your eyes are lit up. They're lit up with excitement. They're lit up with anticipation. They're lit up with positive expectations, a sense of, I can't wait to get started. So differentiation is actually based in what inspires you. And so what I want to offer you is this. When you're thinking about how to differentiate your value proposition, give consideration to the things that excite you. What does value look like when you do it your way because you think it's valuable and you want to? You want to deliver services that way because you would like to experience them that way yourself. You want to deliver that kind of value because that's the kind of value you would pay for. Maybe you're problem solving around something that you're not experienced in the world yet. You're thinking, there's got to be a better way to do this. I want to be that person. I want to be the one that brings forward this different way of doing things because it's more valuable, because I believe it's a better way, because I believe it's better for mankind, for humanity, it's better for my community. It's going to deliver better value as a result. When you are inspired that way, you have a greater vision. Now, the other thing about this that's really important is inspiration fuels a strong sense of courage. Instead of being courageous because you have to, which is a very quick rush of adrenaline from fear. When we're motivated, we have a very quick rush of courage because we have to, we're desperate and we need to. But then it fizzles out. That courage isn't sustainable because it's only temporary, just enough to get us out of the situation. So when you're differentiating in that way, what's happening is you're having to re-differentiate yourself consistently because it's very specific to the conditions that you're trying to avoid, right? When you're differentiating based on inspiration, you have this compelling vision that's pulling you forward, and you have courage that is sustainable because that courage is based on a deep desire. It's based on a passion. It's based on something that you're chasing, that you want. You really, truly, genuinely want because you have this fire in your belly and you want to pursue that. It makes you feel good. So even though it hurts, if you will, the courage to do something new and different is scary, and it is challenging, and there are lots of resistances that you will experience. At the same time, you are going to have more courage, and the sustainable courage will carry you through so that you are actually moving through new levels of courage, which help you improve your value proposition, right? Because the first level of courage, you get through that and you think, oh, that wasn't so hard. And then the next level of courage, because you're pulling forward, you're tapping into even more, even something stronger, even more risk. You're taking even more leaps of faith, if you will. And as you take increasingly frequent leaps of faith, your courage increases and improves, and so does your confidence. You also end up attracting a new type of client. You attract a new community or group of people who are going to support you in that courage because you're an inspiration to watch. You're an inspiration to be around. You have an energy about you that is attractive and magnetic. People want to be around that, particularly when it's focused on doing good, creating value, helping humanity have a better experience. So when you're thinking about your differentiation, consider what the mindset or the frame around it. Are you differentiating out of desperation because you feel you have to in order to compete? Or are you differentiating because you want to do something that is dramatically and significantly more valuable for the marketplace, and that inspires you? When you differentiate in that way, your differentiation is sustainable, it's more effective, and it's much more exciting and profitable for you as well as rewarding and meaningful, of course. Thanks for joining me today. Michèle Soregaroli is my name. I work with professional services advisors, and I look forward to supporting you on your journey. If this video has been valuable to you, as always, I invite you not only to subscribe to our channel for continued content of this nature, but also to share with your community, share with people that you think would benefit from this message. Help them differentiate themselves and excel in their own way so that we all rise with the tide. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.